Welcome to the section Into the Now. We will sharpen your perception, bring awareness to your body, see your creative path through different viewpoints. So let's move from thinking to sensing. The content of this section are three lessons. The one is called How do you perceive? The second, Arriving to the present moment. And the third, What value does your work hold? What do you express? The content also includes meditation and movement, music, introspection and objectivity, tools to overcome blocks, honest check ins with your artistic voice, and reflective prompts and sensory exercises. The invitation is to pause, observe, and begin from where we are right now. Lesson 1. How do you perceive? Before diving in, go to your journal. Do a check in with yourself. What is your favorite sense? Which of your senses is more developed? Through which sense you can calm yourself better in a situation of stress? How do you pamper your eyes, your hands, your ears, your senses? What little joys or rituals do you create to treat them well and keep them inspired? These questions aim to put the focus on our senses, of course, and the idea is to be experimental, to try to pay attention to ourselves in the way we are in the world. How do we interact with sounds, with textures, with noise, with flavors? Let's really nurture this aspect, this bodily aspect of being alive. Who makes the things you make? What do you feel in your body before you begin to create? And after you create, do you find introspection easy or uncomfortable? Why? Do you know what makes you creative today? Write three keywords that define your ethos. The Decalogue might help. And after answering and journaling a bit on these topics, check with yourself if you're answering from an automatic place or you're really allowing yourself to find something new, some new information. This is the end of the lesson 1. Lesson 2, arriving to the present moment. What do you feel right now? So, being present means perceiving what is without rush or judgment. This deepens our awareness, fuels creativity, and helps us connect to meaning. By practicing being in the present, we are sharpening our perception and cognitive connection so we can reach deeper meaning. This is super useful for creativity, for our practices of any kind, but the topic that interests us all is creativity. So try to bring these little tools that maybe you picked up in the module of self-care or even in these modules, breathing, paying attention to how we are in our bodies. This can really enrich what you do creatively. One of the key of being in the present is to develop observation and be capable to accept how things are in this moment, even if we are having a very busy mind, that we can observe it without getting totally identified with it. So we will try to practice this ability during this section. Are you able to observe your emotions without becoming them or allowing them to make all decisions? Do you have a developed inner observer? Have you ever paid attention to how your mind and body exist in the present moment? How are your inner dialogues lately? Who speaks with whom? The questions target this capacity of observing what's going on inside our minds. We know how our minds is a big responsible for creating the reality we are trapped or enjoying. We're trapped in or enjoying living. So, by practicing this ability of observing, we start separating what is useful for ourselves and what isn't. And this is a very useful tool for our creative practice, of course. Activity: observing the present moment. The first step is to take a pause. Observe yourself. What are you doing physically and mentally? Can you notice your breath? What is the position of your body? What are your hands doing? Where are your eyes focused? What train of thought is running through your mind? Take a moment to simply observe and be aware. I will offer you here three options to practice getting more grounded and being in the present moment. So I recommend that you read and hear three of them and then choose your own. And also that you finish this lesson and continue the other one, because to go to the third lesson from a grounded position can be very beneficial. The option one is to do a guided meditation. You will find a link in the description of the video, and this is a 10-minute meditation that you can find in YouTube. If there's any other recorded meditation that you enjoy doing it and it's more or less 10 minutes or more, if you are used to doing meditations and this type of practices, you can extend it. Of course, the more time that we are able to stay in meditation, the more benefits we start getting. But this is not a race. Just with 10 minutes, you can reach huge benefits. So, option one, do a 10-minute guided meditation. Option two, you will set a timer, 10 minutes, and you will just bring the awareness to your breathing. You close your eyes, observe the air entering and exiting. You feel your chest and belly rise and fall. You let thoughts drift by like clouds. You don't attach to any, and you just stay with your breath. After the alarm starts ringing, you can open slowly your eyes and feel how you are in the space you are doing this breathing awareness. So, this second option, 10 minutes of just paying attention to our breaths and letting things be what they are. The option three is an experimental exercise. It is a hands on activity to bring awareness in the now. You will also set a timer. The exercise has two parts, and you will set a timer for 5 minutes and do the first part of the exercise that is called focus repetition. You will draw, you will take a pile of white pages. It can be even any type of paper, it doesn't need to be special. You will draw vertical lines and keep them close but not touching. So just parallel lines, one besides the other. You will focus fully on the movement. You will bring attention back to your body sensations if the mind wanders. So you will just for 5 minutes be writing these parallel lines from the beginning to the end of the page. You will try to find a repetitive rhythm. After the alarm sets off, you will pass to part two of the exercise, that is a self observation moment. You will set the 5 minutes alarm and just stay still doing nothing. So after these 5 minutes of doing the lines, the alarm will set. You will reset it to 5 more minutes of just observing where you are in your mind, in your body, how your breath is. um, going? Is it slow? Is it fast? If any distractions come, you will just let them be. So 5 minutes of drawing lines, 5 minutes of stillness. Final reflection is the now versus the before. How are you now and how were you before starting doing this exercise? Can you be with yourself in presence? What did you discover about your attention, emotions, or embodiment? What will you bring forward from this practice? This is just the beginning of presence. Like art, it is a practice. If you find more of this type of exercises or you stick to one of them and start doing it regularly in your routine, you will find great benefits. Maybe not so much for your creativity, but for sure for the way you perceive yourself and others. This is the end of lesson 2. End of lesson 2. Lesson 3. What value does your work hold? What do you express? The objective is to gain an objective point of view on your creations. Clarify what you would like to speak about. Exercise 1. Observing your creative Exercise 1. Observing your creative universe. Everything we've been doing so far, journaling, creative practices, finished or unfinished work, is deeply revealing if we allow it. If we look closely, we may uncover recurring themes and patterns that differ from what we think we are expressing. Try to see with fresh eyes. Looking ourselves from an objective viewpoint may help us understand ourselves better. Better awareness allows us to speak about our work, present ourselves with clarity, and recognize our strengths. Whether you are an amateur or a professional, whether you sell, exhibit, or simply create for yourself, this lesson will help you frame your artistic identity more clearly. And definitely, you may have some fun. Use your inner objective observer. Call on what you have learned so far. Be an observer of your creations and not its author. Whatever it is, music, events, writing, knitting, curating, try to visualize it as a tangible universe. Stand in front of your work. If your work is physical, display it in front of you. If not, represent it with objects or key concepts like a calendar if you are organizing meetings, scissors if you are an editor. So I will explain a little bit this. My idea is to put you in a situation where you are an objective person that is looking at this creative universe of yours. So if you're a painter, it's very easy because you just need to display paintings and brushes and water and this type of typical elements to observe this as the bubble where you create things. If you are an event planner, then you need other type of elements. You will put the microphone, the phone, the calendar, flowers, I don't know, whatever are the resources that make you think of this universe, or that, or also you can pick objects that are very dear to you or that mean for you something specific about your making. The point is not that we represent everything that we have. Like, I know that no one will clutter their room with objects, but that we can stand in front of something with a very clear separation of what is the creation and what is ourselves. As you observe your universe, ask yourself, what do all these elements express together? What are the key components? What is your role among them? Who influences whom? You influence the elements or the elements influence you? How much action do these objects have in the creative process? As a person that uses a lot of tools, I know that for me, it's very different to use a certain type of tools that require a specific type of movements than others. In my discipline, like working with ceramics, There are days that I would work with the pottery's wheel, and this is a type of work. And there are other days that I am hand building. The day that I'm glazing myself is a total different person from the day that I am working on the wheel. How is it for you? What's in your case the situation? Do you think that the elements that you use provoke different things? If you have different instruments, some are calling in more a soft attitude, others called more a assertive attitude. Like, let's try to focus on these subtle things. They are super interesting also to talk about. Exercise 2, journaling and observation. Yes, a lot of focus on the way we see and perceive things, what we think about these things, what's our philosophy around our making. Read and pick questions that spark your curiosity. So here we will have a set of slides that have many questions. You pick the ones that are interesting for you. So, what is the primary tool in this universe? Is it you? Would any of these exist without you? How would it function in your absence? So, we're still standing in front of our creations, yes? Is there a common denominator that connects everything? How do these elements make you feel? What emotions do they evoke? The outside perspective. Imagine someone else looking at your creative universe. What story might they see? What meaning might they interpret? What kind of person do they think made this? So, if someone is looking at your art, at your creative universe, what is the story they make in their minds? If applicable to your art or craft, observe what textures, colors, or images repeat the most. What elements stand out? Are there things that don't match your created universe? So, is there any object that seems disruptive in this universe? Reflect. What is your comfort zone? How do you solve an artistic problem? What is your superpower? What's your recurring chord, your nurturing beat, if you're a musician or if you work with rhythms? What gives you confidence in doing or interpreting music? What challenges or pushes you to your edge? Exercise 3, the body as a source of feedback. We will shift from words to body and movement. So we will try to express our work through movement. Pick a playlist. There's a playlist down in the description of the video, but you can choose any playlist of your own taste. The idea is that the playlist must have different moments, and that you maybe don't know very well the songs that are coming, so you're not connected to the music through the manner that you're used to do that, but you are following with your body the input that the music brings. We are not dancing and looking pretty in this exercise. We are trying to be connected to our bodies. So you can try this exercise after doing a meditation or some practice of self awareness. And we are playing with the music, with what the sounds provoke in our body. You can exaggerate your gestures and mock yourself, imitate animals. You can repeat a very small and subtle movement, very, very petite, very, very small, and notice any emotions that arise. Stay playful and fully present in your body. There's no right or wrong of doing this. You just go with the flow and try to have in mind like this creative universe you portrait in front of you. And this dance is homage to your creations. So dance with you, with your maker. Why move? Because movement can reveal subconscious patterns, and We can go so deep into what the benefits of moving. Let your body speak what words might miss. And if you are curious about these practices, there is fantastic medicine movement practitioners, five rhythms practitioners. And if you have questions about this, there will be more information in the description of the video. You can check a few links to go dive into the possibilities of movement without being a dancer. Like, I'm the worst dancer in the world, and actually dancing for me was a huge trauma as a teenager, and also after growing up I wouldn't dance because I didn't know how to do it and I couldn't follow choreographs, and I'm totally uncoordinated. But in in this type of exercise with movement and going to practitioners that are professionals in this and that guide beautiful dancing sessions, I've learned a lot. And I deeply, deeply, deeply recommend it. It's a very healing practice. Exercise 4, the interview. Ask like a fan and answer like an artist. Write down 10 questions you would ask your favorite creators about their work. Now answer them about your own work. These questions that you would like to know about other people, answer them yourselves as if someone was asking with this huge interest. Let it flow and then polish. Write freely with no filters, no self-censorship. Just let it flow. Afterwards, you can edit a little and you may uncover that writing was an incredibly useful for your portfolio. So in all this session, even though we had a different type of exercise with movement and meditation, we might have written a lot, and we can use this material. Crosslink. Can you relate these exercises with what you explored in the communication module? Think about how you present, speak about, or even market your work. This is the end of the section. Thank you and see you next section.